All right, here's the intro video for a really nice property at Bull Shoals Lake. This is in Boone County, Arkansas, just barely in Arkansas. It's about a mile and a half south of the Missouri-Arkansas state line. Property is outlined in red down here at the bottom. This large peninsula you see is Timber Shoals Ranch on Bull Shoals Lake. And Bull Shoals Lake is a Corps of Engineer lake, like a lot of other lakes in this area and elsewhere. Table Rock Lake, right by Branson, is a Corps of Engineer lake, and a few others. This is about 15 miles southeast of Branson. It'll take you about 45 minutes by car from Branson. But on a Corps of Engineer lake, the water itself and a buffer strip going back from the water is owned and controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers. And the reason for the buffer strip is so that they can raise and lower the water level at the dam way downriver for flood control and for power generation and whatnot. And as that water level goes up and down on the shoreline, it doesn't affect the private property owners. So that's why the Corps of Engineer has a buffer strip on their lakes, and that's what's going on this one. So in general, a private citizen like you and I can't own the actual waterfront, but what you can try to get is frontage on the Corps of Engineer land, commonly called the take line, and then you have direct access over that to the water. So it's basically, since the Corps of Engineer land is public land, if you're able to get something that fronts that Corps of Engineer land, then that's how you've got your access to the lake. And in fact, often it would be called lakefront if you border the Corps of Engineer land. So in this case, this is one of the special properties that actually does directly border that Corps of Engineer land on its southwest side here. In fact, it has about 235 feet of direct frontage on the Corps of Engineer land, and it's extremely close to the water. So oftentimes, anytime you can get something on the Corps land, it's great. But even though it's hard enough to find something on the Corps land, it's much harder to find something on the Corps land where you can actually easily get to the water, because oftentimes it will be a bluff or it'll be set back, 3/4 of a mile, or just really poor access. In this case, from this property, you have an extremely short walk right to the shoreline, and you can actually fish and swim and whatnot right there. We're across from Tucker Hollow Marina, so it's a very nice area. And we'll zoom in a moment here, but I don't think we'll zoom out. You can check the listing for that, but like I said, it's about 15 miles southeast of Branson. Directions and all that good stuff will be in the listing at InstantAcres.com. To get to the property from the Missouri side, you'll end up taking Moe Ark Road down to the south. So we're at the top of the screen. Down to the south, right here to the state line. Moe Ark is a paved road. When you get to the state line, you'll actually jog to the left onto the gravel easement road, and you'll continue going south. You'll see a gate. If you were to keep going straight south on Moe Ark Road, you'll see a gate, and you'd be in this guy's driveway here. So instead, you're actually jogging left onto the gravel easement road. Continue following that to the south. You'll get to a Y in the road, stay to the right. You'll get to another Y in the road, stay to the right, and follow that on down to the property. I believe it's about a mile and a half once you hit the south side of Moe Ark Road, and then you'll see the property on the right. If you were to continue going south on that easement road for about another 1/4 mile or half a mile, you'd be right at the lake in what we call the Sandy Beach area, because the first and several other times that we've been out there, when the water level is a little lower, there are hundreds and hundreds of feet of beautiful sandy beach. I mean, it looks like Florida. It's just gorgeous. We were just out there recently, and the water level was higher, so it was up higher by this vegetation, and so it was still extremely usable. We picnicked there, we hung out there, we took the jet skis out of the water right there. But when the water's up, you won't really see the sandy beach. That's more when the water level is lower. But I mean, that's the closest place to put a pontoon boat or a jet ski into the water. It's a completely natural launch. You just back your truck right over the hard-packed gravel. If you've ever seen, kind of a natural launch, I mean, that's literally what it is. The other spot that's nearby is here on the north side of Timber Shoals Ranch, actually just north of Timber Shoals Ranch, we've got this pink line, which is a trail to State Line Cove. So this meadow area you see here, that this is not actually an easement, it's private property, but we happen to own the south part of that meadow, and you're welcome to cross over it. As soon as you get to the shaded area, now you're in the Corps of Engineer land, and you will see a little trail that goes on down to the east, right to State Line Cove. And again, that's a very natural boat launch, hard-packed gravel, back right into the ground. Like I said, we were out there, I guess it's been about 2 weeks, but we brought 2 jet skis on a trailer and quite a few people, and we backed the jet skis in right here and unloaded those. All the girls in the group climbed on the jet skis and they took off, and I don't know where they went, but they told us that they'd meet us down here at the Sandy Beach area. And so all the guys climbed back in the truck and we pulled on down here to the south and ended up finally down at the Sandy Beach area, and we met up with them. We played around for hours, had a little lunch on the shore, did some fishing, and when we finally left, that's where we loaded the jet skis. And actually on the way out, we went back to State Line Cove because they wanted to fish there as well, and we caught fish at both places. I mean, it was an absolute blast. We took the jet skis over to the marina, went up this channel of the lake. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. Kind of a family-friendly area, I guess you'd say. You don't see, or we didn't see any big speed boats or massive party boats or anything. We saw people fishing, and we saw families pulling tubes and doing some jet skiing. But even with the marina there was very little traffic on the lake. It was just an absolute blast. But back to the property. So let's zoom in here. These yellow lines are the easement roads, the gravel easement roads at Timber Shoals Ranch. A truck or an SUV is what you'll want to access this property. This is intended to be kind of a private, primitive area, so these will never be super wide paved roads. I mean, they'll always be have more of a cabin feel to it. So I mean, you do want your truck, your SUV. Four-wheel drive is great, but at least with a truck or SUV, even a two-wheel drive, you've got some clearance, and that's what you may need. I mean, our guys are in the process of opening up some of these roads a little more, but just be aware of that when you head out there, that it is more of a primitive feel, and you can check the videos to see exactly what we mean with that. So as we zoom in a little bit here, you can see the easement road. Here's the property. So now we can see the approximate dimensions. This is tract 58 at Timber Shoals Ranch, by the way. There are a very small number of tracts on this southwest side where this property is that border the Corps of Engineer land and have very good access to that Sandy Beach area. So, I mean, just a really, really nice situation at Timber Shoals Ranch in general, but specifically these properties here, because you've got, I mean, you're right across from Tucker Hollow Marina. Actually, the marina's right here. And there you've got, of course, their little bait shop and the restaurant and all that fun stuff. So that's handy to have right there. And then the property, obviously. Whoop, I've got to turn off this phone. There we go. Okay. So we'll zoom in a little more, and let's take a really good look at this. So, I mean, check the full listing to dig into detail and see the interactive map and whatnot. But, well, let's mention this. You see this roadway that cuts across the property. So years and years and years ago, apparently this peninsula was either going to be a town or some type of development, and they actually built quite a few roads going through here. And over the years, the roads grew up and whatnot. And this is one of the original existing roads. So this that you see stair-stepping through here, this is not a road easement. No one can use that to cross over the middle of your property. It's just, it was a road or trail at one point, and now it still exists. But certainly, if you wanted to fence here and then fence here to block that, you could do that, because this is not an access road. It's just kind of an interesting little excuse me, trail on the property. So we've got about 140 feet of frontage on the northeast on the easement road. We go back to the southwest for 600 feet and 725. And then as we get to the southwest side, we've got about 230 feet of direct frontage on the take line, on the Corps of Engineer land right there. As you can see, it's extremely close to the lake. This more open area that you see kind of across the road, you actually can't see that from the property, but from the air you can. And what that is, it's an old small rock quarry. So just a small private quarry where they, for a couple years, I guess, quarried some of that flat rock that you see, and they use that on the front of some of the houses in the immediate area north of here. So that's what that is. It's not a weird industrial site or anything. It's simply a very small old quarry. That's it. So let's zoom in here a little more. No, let's look at the topo map, because that's one of the very special things about this property. So the property's highest on the northeast side by the road. It slopes down very, very gradually. I mean, you could almost call it level, but it does slope down. So it slopes down very gradually as you go to the southwest. No steep areas that we could see on the property, and the topo map agrees with us as far as that goes. So you get to the southwest side, and then it gets really interesting. I'm going to move this for a second. Here we go. So from the southwest side, and let's go back to the Google map actually. There we go. You've got the small cove area here, and north of the cove, this shoreline, is a little miniature bluff. So that sits about 10 or 15 feet over the water. Very pretty. If you're into jumping, excuse me, jumping off the bluffs into the lake, it's really cool for that. Oh, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. But it's not one of those 100 or 200 feet daredevil things. It's more like a diving board at a public pool. So that's pretty interesting. But if you want to access the shoreline really for fishing or for swimming or whatnot, all you have to do is go to the south area, the cove area, and head to the south. And this is all much more level into the water. So this cove, this little peninsula in this cove is actually the breaking point between the mini bluff and the walk right into the water situation. So you get your choice of that. And the topo map kind of shows that, kind of not. You can see this is the mini bluff, and then this is more gradual. Actually, you've got a large, beautiful peninsula that slowly goes into the water. That's all on the Corps of Engineer land. So you've got a lot of frontage that you can use and enjoy and explore right from the property. I mean, super close to the water. I believe when we were out there, we walked out to this little peninsula right here. I believe we took a video of that. Maybe we'll try to splice that into this video or one of the others on the listing. We really didn't explore this down here, but this was beautiful. We did go by it on the jet ski and checked it out. Saw a bald eagle somewhere right in here. Flew right over us and then landed in a tree. So there's a bald eagle nesting in the area. Yeah, just a really special property. We were so excited to get anything on the take line, and then to have some of these tracts with this kind of access to the water was extremely special. I'm going to put this back before I forget about it. There we go. So I'm on the full version of MapRight. When you go to visit the property, the very best thing to do is first print out the paper maps, or print out the maps on paper from the listing, or screenshot them on your phone or whatever, just in case you don't have service when you get out there. We've got Verizon, and sometimes we have really good service, sometimes not. It kind of depends where you are on the peninsula. The Wi-Fi in our truck seems to work pretty much anywhere, so I mean it's out there. The service is out there. I think it just depends on who you have. But screenshot or get the maps, and then ultimately, if you can get the MapRight app, it's a free app. Search for MapRight, all one word, for Android or for Apple, and download that app. And then we can email you the link for this specific interactive map. So you've got to, we've got to be able to send the email to whatever device you have that app on. And then open up the email, click on the link, and it will say, do you want to open this link within the app? To which you'll say yes. And then not only will this map pop up, but there'll be a little colored dot it'll be basically tracking you. It'll be following you, see exactly where you are. So it's phenomenal for driving to the property, especially when you get out to the easement roads, because it's so easy to get turned around. But you'll have that little map with the dot. And then when you get to the property itself, it's phenomenal because you can basically tell right where you are. I mean, you can be walking down the center of the property. You can be tracing this northwest line. I mean, it's utterly fantastic. So we can't say enough good things about that. It works 90% of the time, and 10% of the time people report problems. So hopefully it'll work for you when you get out here. But we've been using it for a while and we love it. So yeah, special tract property covenants in place for Timber Shoals Ranch to protect your investment. We don't think they're too restrictive. You can check those out on the website as well. Um, I could run down the list, but basically, I mean, when you build your home or cabin, it's got to be at least 600 square feet, so 20 by 30. It's got to be on a concrete foundation. Pretty normal stuff. So, but something to be aware of that's just going to keep the area nice. We got some setbacks off the easement road and whatnot. So yeah, check it out, InstantAcres.com. Um, we're we're very happy to be able to bring this to you. It By the time you're watching this video, it may or may not be sold. You really do have to go to the website at InstantAcres.com to check it out, or give us a call in the office, or just send us an email at sales@InstantAcres.com, and we would certainly love to chat with you about this or any property that we may have available. InstantAcres.com.